Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever, where we're going to be casting a game on adaptive Hilly Plateau. It's a high-level game, so it's going to be pretty fun to watch. Really quick, before we get into introducing the teams, I'm going to slow down the game and say thank you to my patron, Timothy Calderwood, for subscribing at the $10 a month tier over on Patreon. If you want to support me financially, go ahead and check that out in the link in the description. Let's start off with introducing the first player for Team 1. It is a green Cybran by the name of Ninrai going first land. To his east, we have a purple UEF called Lazy Avena. He was in our last cast on Fields of Isis, and he is going first land. To his southeast, we have a white Aeon, not UEF, by the name of RealCat_, and he is going first land. To his west, we have Dave, or Bashkor Toe Stan. You know what? Actually, instead of Dave, we're going to call him Stan. Stan over here. Nah, people have been asking for a Dave. You're Dave, and you're a purple Cybran going with first land, and you took way too long on your intro. Then we have a gray UEF by the name of Icy Nightmare going first land. And let's go ahead and go on to Team 2 down here in the bottom left-hand corner. We're going to start with the southernmost player, a blue Aeon by the name of Fior, going first land and rushing to the middle. Then we have a blue Aeon by the name of Brinko Insanity, and he is a streamer, and I actually stopped by his stream. He was streaming Creeper World 4. Very fun YouTuber and Twitch streamer. Go ahead and check him out. I'll throw a link in the description if I can remember. And then up here to his north, we have Draculum, a gray UEF. He's going first land. Brink went first land as well. I fucked up all of my intros now. Then to his north, we have a red Seraphim by the name of Eggroll going first land. And the last but not least player in this game, we have Mochulal, a puke yellow, puke green Cybran going first land. And with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and speed up the game back to normal speed and see how these players are planning to attack the map. We can see a very early scout coming out from Fior, and the comms of Brink, Fior, Mochulal, and Eggroll are all making their way to the middle. They are going to push hard for this reclaim here. When you look out, you can see pretty much anywhere there's a mechs to expand to, there is mass to grab, and in the middle you have a big reclaim field with a bunch of big rocks, which are very nice to grab. You can already see manual reclaim orders coming out from multiple players trying to grab all of that mass. Team 1 is going to be in for a nasty surprise whenever they see that they are only sending 2 comms versus the 4 comms coming for the middle. There's a ton of reclaim here, and I'm pretty sure this is going to give a slight advantage to Team 2. We will have to see how they use it and how they approach this. They could possibly get a scalp onto Icy Nightmare or Dave, either or. Dave is indeed the likely option, though, as he has less starting health. Much easier to get a scalp on a player with less health. Although they may want to go for Icy instead, as he is the higher rated player. There's definitely good options either way, but with 4 comms you can definitely outpower these two, especially with some good focus fire. We can see these players all hoovering up these rocks at an astounding rate. And over here on the most eastern flank, we can see RealCat starting to expand quite heavily. He has a nice chunk of units pushing out with his comm right now. He's going to try and vie for dominance of this furthest southeastern little corner of the map. As we go back to the middle, we can see attack pings on over to Dave. It does seem that the players have decided that's who they're going to target. 3 comms walking towards them, Brink in the background following us up. You can see tons of fire being exchanged. I am using new recording settings, so hopefully this looks a lot better for you. I noticed in the past few casts, I don't know if it's YouTube's encoding or the way that I am recording, but they were looking a little wonky. a little bit lower res, less high definition than what I expect out of my quality for these videos. Let's go ahead and bring that HUD back on and check in on reclaim numbers. They should be all nearing up. Let's just check in on the players with the most. We have the Egg Roll sitting at 2.2 thousand reclaim, Icy Nightmare at 2.6 thousand, and a Lazy Event at 2,000, and as well as Brink getting up to 2,000 now. All of these players reclaiming pretty well, except for Fior's short stacking the reclaim game at 700 mass reclaimed, and everybody's getting their economies up and running, using that reclaim to jumpstart your progress on T2 mexes is generally the play. Generally the only thing you can actually use to get your mass income down when you're reclaiming just that much in such a short period of time. Fior coming out here looking like he might be trying to get this bigger rock, but maybe he's not even spending his mass properly. He does have his comm on a patrol order. I would think manual reclaim would be the way to go here. We can see the speed upgrade on Realcat just now finishing. Aeon comms, of course, having their speed and range upgrades separated onto each arm respectively. He's going for the speed, so he's going to get as much DPS as possible early on. A lot of players generally opting for the range upgrade, and then on the arm with which you get speed, you can get a sensor upgrade, which will increase your range. Fior falling dangerously low on health currently, but he does have the comm of Brink to come in here and help him out. He's down to 2,000 health. Brink is going to try and get his comm in between the other two to soak up shots from that Aeon's speed upgraded gun. Realcat falling down to 1,800 health, or Fior falling down to 1,800 health. Realcat could have possibly pushed and gotten the kill onto Fior, but he would have died in exchange, so he falls back, deciding that he does want to remain in the game. Brink being a true hero there, helping out his ally. On this western flank, which we haven't looked at very much, we can see that Draculum has managed to push up quite a little bit. Do we have any upgrades on the comms of Draculum or Eggroll? We do not, while speed and range is coming out on Ninrai. Very important. We have T2 on the way for Icy Nightmare. And we can hear some bombers going out over here. They're going to drop bombs onto this T2 mechs. It's not going to be exceptionally important of a drop of bombs. I don't think they're going to scalp the mechs, especially as some AA starts being thrown up, and this engineer was repairing from the looks of it. One bomber goes down. This next bomber's pass has to kill the mechs, and it just simply does not have the damage to scalp that T2 mechs early. Going to fly into the range of that T1 AA and be shot down for its troubles. 100 health left on that mechs, 178 to be exact, and two more bombers do fly out, so the persistence of bombers here is going to net a T2 mechs destroyed. It does look like 4 bombers were used there to kill off that mechs, so I would guess that would be a positive trade for the player, sacrificing 4 bombers, especially considering the time it takes at this stage of the game to make a T2 mechs. It's not something you can just throw up instantly. Motulal in a little bit of a pickle over here. It does look like his little hydrocarbon and mass extractor were taken out over here by the gun comm of Realcat, and he was forced back towards this mass point down here. We can see more T1 bombers coming out from Icy Nightmare. Gonna kill off a radar and an engineer for its trouble. It's a very effective bomb drop. Sorry about that, took a drink of water. I'm still having issues with my throat after being sick. I'm no longer sick. My sinuses are still a little messed up, but I don't feel bad. My throat is not quite 100% yet, but I endeavor to keep making these through hell and high water. I just love watching FAF games and love bringing the content to all of you. We have damage and range coming on after the T2 upgrade for Icy Nightmare, and speed and range on the way for the Egg Roll. There is a unit advantage at the moment for... Actually, I don't know if there's a unit advantage. I would think Icy might have a little bit more units, but he has been spending a lot on those bombers, and it does look like Egg Roll has a decent clip here, so it's hard to tell. The gun comm of Real Cat still out here, still causing trouble, still picking off units. He's at 8 kills on that comm currently. The gun upgrade was finished up here for Ninrai, who is going to be pushing into this group of T1 momentarily and probably going to be picking off a fair number of them. Overcharge thrown out to get a few more kills. The units do retreat in a timely fashion, though. T2 on the way for the Egg Roll, as well as Draculum. Draculium? Draculum. I have no idea how to say that, but it's not quite as bad as Dave's name over here. And Dave has managed to get up T2 on his land factory, and he's pumping out some rhinos for the moment. Those are very good units. All of the T2 tanks and assault bots are very good. The range bots are very nice if you have the micro for it, but if you just want something you can throw at the enemy, get a tank. Don't get a range bot. You don't need hoplites or mongoose, you just need tanks. Pillars and rhinos all the way. We do have a little bit of a kerfuffle breaking out over here. It looks like Egg Roll is pushing onto Icy Nightmare, and Icy's Nightmare's units were kind of broken up on this little plateau. This kind of land feature made it very hard for him to defend. He's trying to regroup back here and throw up a PD. He is currently building the walls of the PD first, which I'm generally against. I think it's much better to build the PD first and then worry about the walls later. I think that you can build the walls, and then what if then you might almost get up the PD, but if you don't get up the PD, then you have 4 walls. Whereas if you get the PD up but don't manage to get the walls up, you still have a PD. Just that little bit of extra time that you shouldn't have wasted, in my opinion. We did have a PD in placement up here, which is in a very nice spot, using the terrain quite effectively. And we can see that the Egg Roll kills off this position, manages to stop his opponent from holding it. Very unfortunate losing that hydrocarbon and that mechs, but definitely not the end of the world. It happened to Mochalal down here a little bit earlier. We do have some Wagners meeting up with some rhinos. The rhinos win that fight. I don't quite know the reasoning behind building Wagners on a non-water map. I know that they are still relatively good as far as just a T2 tank, but I don't believe they're quite as useful as the Rhino. Maybe they are cheaper. That might be it. Let's just go ahead and check on that. In fact, we can see that the Wagner is actually more expensive. And I don't think it... Does it have more DPS? Oh, also Mochulal is getting shot at by some rhinos. But this really isn't a threat as he's going towards his T2 PD, and his comm will eventually kill those off. But let's see. Wagners, do they have more DPS? Basic. They're Meson Rocket, which is a direct fire weapon. 250 DPS versus 89 DPS of this. It's a more bursty weapon. I don't know the reasoning behind that. If somebody in the comments will let me know why one would build Wagners and Rhinos on a non-water map. Let me know in the comments. Or maybe even Mochulal will see this and tell me his reasoning himself. If you're watching this, Mochulal, I expect a response in the comments. Say hello. My name is Mochulal. And I build Wagners because they have big dick energy or something. Real Cat is getting the damage or the range upgrade. I saw it pop earlier in the chat. Yes, he's getting the range upgrade on his comm. And we can see that was the egg roll. The egg roll did cancel his T2. Sorry about the coughing. If there's any atrocious spikes or very loud coughs, I will cut them out, but as these videos go on for about an hour each, it's kind of difficult to comb through the entire audio looking for coughs, as they don't generally stand out between normal audio waves unless they absolutely spike my microphone. And we have more engineers dying to T1 bombers. 5 kills and 1 drop. Very much so worth it. It's going to stop them from reclaiming quite as heavily, but they are going to be able to reclaim their brethren, so you do have that. What is the female version of brethren? Because it would be sister something. Is it sisterthin? Sithin? Sisters? I guess you would just say sisters instead of brethren. But why don't you say brothers? I am very interested in the English vernacular in this sense. Yet again, let me know in the comments if you know the female version of brethren. We do have more bombers coming out over here to kill off more T1 units. It has been an absolute slaughter of T1 units by T1 bombers this game. And this is no exception. That Shift G command coming in clutch, killing off more and more T1 units. And these bombers are not going to be killed off for a little bit. We do have the ASF coming in, and we haven't checked on ecos or ASF numbers, but we can check on ASF numbers now relatively easily. 17 for Lazy Avena versus 14 for Brink. Brink, of course, probably slightly behind because he did send his comm out to the middle, whereas his opponent did not. We do have more bombers landing more bombs onto T2 mexes. When will this travesty end? When will the reign of the T1 bomber, the terror that they inflict, be gone? Find out in next episode of Law and Order Unit Victim Case, or UVC. What is the normal one? Special units? Something SUV, isn't it? SUV? Special victims? I don't know. SVU, it's SVU. Special Victims Unit. Alright. Instead of making pop culture references, I should probably remark on the fact that the game is relatively split down the middle. We do have a lot of T2 and T1 units on top of the comm of Real Cat. He is currently at 1 veterancy as he just got it, but these are Obsidians and Auroras we're talking about. These are some big dick energy weapons coming out of some big dick energy. I don't know why I keep saying big dick energy. I don't know what it is about Hilly Plateau, but I tend to make references to big dicks and phallic rods and the sort. Guess it's just something to do with the water in this area. Oh wait, there is none. And those units did not manage to kill off Real Cat, but they came damn close, taking him down below 3,000 HP. And we do have T1 bombers coming out that may finish the job. They're gonna definitely get some damage done, down to 1,800. We're gonna see the AA and the ASFs come out to protect the comm of Real Cat. And with that, we still have not seen an ejection, almost 20 minutes in, and no players have died. Rather spectacular. You generally see ejections much earlier on this map, and Of course, with the higher level of play comes more ballsy uses of your comm. That is one thing that high level players do a lot. I know this because I watch a lot of replays, and that is use their comm way too damn aggressively. They think their comm is invincible when in fact it is not. And we have 6 bricks converging onto the comm of Mochulal, which I don't think he was even being ballsy. He was just trying to set up a fire base. He's running away as fast as his stubby siren legs will carry him, but he is in a lot of trouble right now. These bricks coming out relatively quickly. I mean, it is the 18-minute mark. We are still 20 minutes into the game, but generally I feel like bricks come a little bit later, especially in this number. But these 6 bricks are wailing onto the comm of Mochulal, giving him a reason to fear death. Oh no, and every time they stop and fire, every volley hurts so much, down to sub 1000 health. He's going to die. This brick here is the hero who saved the... Actually, he didn't save anything, but he did manage to kill off an enemy. All of his base was transferred over to the egg roll temporarily, but full share is indeed off, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we have no more base. Completely destroyed. I could have zoomed in and got a really cool shot there, but I didn't, because I'm smooth-brained. So we did lose our first player, and it is for Team 2. Let's go ahead and check on the economies, and you know what? We're going to check on Reclaim first. We're going to see the front runners here. 10, 12, and 13 for Team 2 on Draculum, Eggroll, and Brink. Versus the only player to break 10k on Team 1 is Lazy Avena at 16,000 Reclaim. And as we check on the mass numbers, we can see the Eggroll, who is currently probably going to inherit this base, or maybe Brink will, is currently sitting at 154 mass a second. And we have 145 for Brink. Draculum sitting at 99, and Fior short stacking at 59. Then we have Lazy Avena sitting at 171, leading the pack. 97 for Dave. Ninrai sitting at 134. 86 for Icy Nightmare, and Real Cat sitting at 44. So he is actually the real short stacker. He is even below that of his opponent Fior on the mass totals. I would like to see Fior grabbing these mass points that have been destroyed. I'm pretty sure this one's been destroyed for like... Actually, this one was probably held by Mochulal. This one definitely was not. Is this Cybran? Yes. Alright. Now we have some Obsidian tanks pushing down here on this southern flank, and they're making quite good progress against Fior, who is using an Asylum to try and drive the enemy units insane, so that way they'll switch to his side, or at the very least stop hurting him. The pain is unbearable. Now his Asylums run away. Quite impressive for a structure, but they make do with their hovery legs. It must be a bitch to have a hovering trailer park. I'm just saying. At least with a normal trailer park, you can kind of pretend that your house isn't on wheels. But with a hovering one, a slight breeze and your trailer is 30 feet down the road and you're wondering why in the hell you made the investment. You'd have to dock it the way you dock ships, with like a rope and a stake in the ground. Also, it'd probably be very energy inefficient. I don't know why one would want their house to float. This tangent's gone on quite too long, but I don't have much better to talk about other than a fire base being shot at by artillery of the T3 mobile or variety, and some bricks falling back, and of course the comm of Eggroll out here just murdering everything with the nano upgrade, because there's no way in hell he has missile launcher or teleporter or any of the other ones. He has nano. You can see that with the 104 health a second on the comm. With one more rank of veterancy, it'll get 110 health regeneration every single second. We can see that he has responded to the issue of mobile artillery with static artillery, which is a pretty good response. It's kind of like when your teacher tells you to write a 500-page essay. So you write 500-page essay on a piece of paper and turn that in, and then subsequently fail the class and lose college tuition because you're a fucking dumbass who thinks he's smart. Don't be cute with teachers, because they won't be cute with you. Oh god. What the fuck am I talking about? There's a real game. It's a very good game going on right now, and I'm talking about teachers and hovering trailer homes. How did I get to this point? Alright. So, really quick, let's check in on those ASF numbers, hey? 48 for Lazy Avina and 33 for Brink. Slowly producing a much larger gap in numbers of ASF. Lazy Avina is driving ahead, but we do have a GC on the way, and that might be the first experimental to complete this game. It's coming out of Brink. And we also have a Yathoda over here for the egg roll. Is there anything else surprising? Any other experimentals on the way? Let's check over here. We don't have any in the main bases of these players. We do have Ninrai, who we have spent exceptionally little time talking about this game. He is indeed building himself a support commander portal gateway, quantum gateway I think is what it's called. He's building one of those, and he's getting a bunch of support comms on the way. Also, let's go ahead and check in on Icy Nightmare and see what he's doing. He's ecoing. That's very interesting. He's finally at T3 land, also producing Percivals. I didn't mention it, but the egg roll is also at T3 land now. Vior has managed to get T3 land. Do we have T3 land for our final land player? We do. Also, Ninrai has T3 land. Everybody is at T3 land. For all intents and purposes, this is now a T3 game, and anything lower than that is dog shit. Fresh. Don't build it. I'm kidding. Build it. It's still something. And something is better than nothing. As a very good Twitch streamer and YouTuber says, more shit counters less shit. Alright. Oh, they're getting very upset because there's spam pinging going on. Let's just look at this chat. Why don't we? Dump mass to egg, nice steal, all the eco from front. From player making T4 faster. Egg, I assume you'd be making land then. Brink only takes 2 mechs, only take 2 mexes please, okay. Okay, yeah. They're bickering amongst themselves. As you do in FAF games, it's just a part of the game. And then you hug it out later after you win, or go write a forum post about how some players should be banned when you lose, because it's not about winning or losing. It's never been about winning or losing. It's about being sure that you're right and somebody else is wrong. The Yathoda and the GC are both out on the field. This could be a very pivotal moment. We also have a Fat Boy on the way, but it just started, so who gives a fuck about that? That Fat Boy is like, oh, everybody else is building experimentals, well, I guess I should too. Kind of situation. We do have this Yathoda pushing forward with some T3 shield generators and some Authams. And we have the GC on the way, the Galactic Colossus, the Mech Marines, biggest of brothers. I know that you're like, why are you saying Mech Marine instead of saying Flare? Does the Flare have arms? That's right, shut the hell up. The GC is just a really big Mech Marine that's curvy. It's developed a nice body.
That one got me. I'm not gonna lie, that one got me. Oh damn. Oh man, that GC is thick. Fucking 1 second. Well, fucking thick. Thick. Okay. Somebody's down in the comments right now typing, "You zoom in and out way too damn much. Quit it." My response to you is, don't watch if you don't like it. It's that simple. I only want people who like it to watch. Let's check in on economies while these experimentals make their way towards Real Cat. The poor son of a bitch is about to get double penetrated by a Ythoda and Galactic Colossus. Okay, we have 200... Okay, you know what? At this point, there's not enough reclaim coming on to fuck this up. 284 for Lazy Avena, 299 for Ninrai, 186 for Dave, Icy Nightmare sitting at 145, 96 for Real Cat, Brink O Insanity is at 206, 320 for Eggroll, and 181 for Draculum, and 99 for our last but not least player, Fior. And now these units are finally in range, and there's multiple experimentals being built. We have a Monkey Lord there, we have a Megalith on the way, we have probably a Fat Boy somewhere, a Megalith completed over here. So we do have a Monkey Lord and a Megalith over on this flank, and we have a GC and a Ythoda. I'm pretty sure GC and Ythoda, if this is a stand-up fight and there's not anything interfering, which of course that's not how this game works, beat Monkey Lord Megalith. 90% sure that's the case. We do have units dying in droves. Real Cat, despite being the lowest economy player in the game, is just being hammered on. This is what we would call cyberbullying, if we gave a fuck. And over here, we're gonna turn off the HUD and watch this epic battle ensue. Oh, just look at it. The magnificence of it. Magnificence of it all. Monkey Lord going down. The GC is now retreating along with the Ythoda. You can see the Megalith shooing away the enemy experimentals. Get off my lawn! Fuck you! I got battleship cannons and I'm on land! That makes me a land battleship! Fun fact, did you know they used to call tanks land battleships? And they were run by the Navy originally? Because people didn't know what the fuck to do with the tank? Oh man, this game is still so goddamn beautiful. Alright, let's go ahead and press end. Oh wait, I have to turn my HUD back on to do that. Okay, HUD is back on. And we can yet again look at the situation. I do believe the GC died, or did it? Where's the GC? The GC is dying over here. It's down to 18,000 health and it's dying to broadswords at an alarming rate. The air fight was definitely lost by Brink. He was unable to wrestle air control with his inferior numbers. So this GC is going to die now. It's going to die in allied territory, importantly. Of course, there's a Megalith on the way to make that less so allied territory, but these engineers can get started on reclaiming... Well, actually they can't, because there's broadswords in the way. But we do have a Ythoda that lived at maximum HP, pretty much. And it is doing quite well for itself as it runs away. Do we have any more experimentals on the way, other than that Fat Boy, which is... not... This Fat Boy has less health than when we saw it last. The last time I saw this Fat Boy, it was at like 280 health, and whenever I came back, it was at 200 health. Did he reclaim it and then decide to start building? Oh wait, no, there's a fully completed Fat Boy. I am about as dense as fucking... What's a really dense fucking material? Lead? I think lead is dense. I'm a dense motherfucker right now. Over here looking at this, while on the mini-map I can see just giant plumes of yellow dots coming out of a gray circle. Jesus, this Megalith is getting a lot of inroads. Air control being lost was a big downside. I would think now would definitely be the time, though, to build some anti-air, as we do have some broadswords heading in towards the Kama Fior. He may want to start, you know, building shields or anti-air of any kind, because these broadswords are about to come in and create a very dead calm. Fior attempts to run away, but there's nowhere to run to. The only place you can run is outside of a shield. He does have slight AA. He has some T2 flak and 1 T3 anti-air up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I truly don't know. He'd probably have to target fire and then pray. Oh, is he going to die? And yes, he does die. He manages to kill off the broadswords with his death, which is, I guess, pretty useful, as they could have continued to cause issues. But losing air has now meant another player from Team 2 has been ejected, and it's now a 3v5. Let's turn our HUDs back on, and let's just check on that. Despite that, the mass generation totals are not too horrible. Only about a 200 mass generation per second total. Only about 200 more mass per second is going into the coffers of Team 1, which is not that bad considering that we're talking about thousands of mass every second. The egg roll claiming most of the eco for his team. Let's check on reclaim numbers, because I'm sure this will be interesting. 27,000 for Brink, 37,000 for egg roll, and 27,000 for Drac. Avena used to be top dog on this at whenever he was at 16,000, but now he is nowhere near, as Dave, of all people, has managed to get damn near 40k, right up there with the egg roll. Reclaim has made a significant impact in the economies this game, as it very well should. Reclaim is such an important technique and mechanic that you need to be using as often as possible. Icy Nightmare has built an experimental. We have a megalith and a fat boy for Icy. I'm pretty sure this megalith was gifted from somebody. I don't think he built it. I'm pretty sure the megalith up here that was controlled by Dave was also gifted from Ninrai, who might just have a place where he's producing megaliths 24/7. Would not be surprised. Or maybe he did produce it himself, but I'm not seeing the Cybern engineer. Or maybe even Dave gave it to him. As we look at the ecos, we can see that Brink and Eggroll are in the lead as far as ecos are concerned at this given moment. Except for Lazy Avena is all of a sudden at 1,000 mass a second. That's an interesting situation. I'm pretty sure he's reclaiming something huge. I don't know what. Oh, he was reclaiming the Galactic Colossus with his rover drones. That's dastardly. That's a dastardly move. Make sure the GC is yours, or at least the wreck of the GC is yours. Alright. We have a Quantum Gateway coming up for Lazy Avena. As these players start getting massive amounts of eco, we are probably going to start seeing things like T4 or not T4s, T3 artillery and other such shenanigans. We have two fat boys wailing on a megalith. The poor megalith that just wanted to kill off a fat boy is now getting itself spanked by two of them. We can see that Cybern Tech was indeed gifted over to Eggroll before the death of Motulol, the only person who could have given him Cybern Tech, and that is producing quite a useful impact on this game, as now he's building many a megalith to go along with his Yathoda, which I don't know if his Yathoda earlier died or not. It does look as though it did, because this is a Yathoda wreck. But at the same time, these broadswords are starting to become a massive issue. An issue that cannot be dealt with. It is time to build all of the AA, and it is time to have your comms as far away from the enemy as possible. Let's just go ahead and check on the comm status of each player. Where are they? What are they doing? I always find it interesting. The Eggroll is over here in a fire base while he power stalls. He has a lot of AA. Brink is in his main base, starting an emissary. Wow, I was actually super lucky. He's building it next to the hydrocarbon. Huh. That's also kind of interesting to me. I wonder what the benefit to that is. I guess maybe it's just, well, I don't have anywhere else to put it. His base is quite littered with stuff. And then the comm of Dracula is over here building a fat boy. Let's go ahead and check on the comms of Team 1. We have Ninrai over here in his Cybran construction complex being safe. Lazy Avena over here with the shield upgrade. Interesting. And the gun upgrade. I don't know why he never used Scum to fight, so that's a strange upgrade to me. Or maybe that is Ras. Isn't Ras now on the comms? Or it's always been on the arm, but didn't they move which arm it was on? If I recall correctly. Where is it? Yes, they moved it to that. Wait, has it always been on the gun arm? I don't know. We have Real Cat over here in his base, as we have units moving out for the egg roll. Interestingly enough, Real Cat in his base trying to throw up some shields. Dave, the most exposed comm of them all so far, sitting just with his ass out in the wind in the middle of his base. And Icy Nightmare over here building a fat boy. I feel like I'm missing so much, but at the same time I haven't missed any comm deaths, so I'm pretty fucking happy about that. I haven't missed any experimentals as far as I know. I missed the death of the Yathoda, but every experimental so far I've seen, pretty sure. We do have a megalith over here with many shields versus a megalith with no shields, which generally does not work out well for the megalith without shields, as they fight each other. An asylum shield coming up to try and protect the Team 1 megalith, and multiple T3 artillery raining down on this megalith. Mobile artillery, of course, as the only T3 artillery started so far has not even gotten halfway yet. The emissary. Yeah, that is the only one started as far as I can tell. And let's turn on our HUDs again. And we can see that this megalith is going to survive. It took quite a hell of a beating in that short period of time where it was not supported by its army. The egg roll now having 2 megaliths out in the field and another on the way. He is pumping out megaliths just as fast as his workers can build them. Right now I'm sure he would love that one feature in Supreme Commander 2, which I thought was actually decent. In Supreme Commander 2, in case you haven't played it, I don't recommend playing it. It's not that great. But it is the reason I got into the Supreme Commander franchise, so I don't say it's the worst thing in the world. But in Supreme Commander 2, you built experimentals from something called an experimental gantry. And after they were 50% complete, you could launch them in a state called half-baked. And it's much akin to what the T1 artillery for Cybran does, where that artillery lands on the unit, it gets stunned for a second. Well, a half-baked experimental would just randomly get stunned for half a second, or a couple seconds, but you got it out. You got out the experimental much faster, and made things a lot easier in a pinch when you needed a lot of experimentals but did not have a lot of time. We have a GC out from Real Cat, the first experimental he's built, and he is the, I think, last player to not build an experimental other than Lazy Avena. We have seen experimentals out of all of these other players, so he has managed to finally get his eco in order enough to shove out a GC. And now he is promptly going to lose it as 2 megaliths start marching on it. This match has had so many GCs, and I love it. There's so many. Did I say GC? So many experimentals, not just GCs. Just in general. It's an experimental wars, which is also a kind of fun mod. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can almost see 6 experimentals on screen. If you count the one that's building in the background, you can see 6 experimentals on the screen. Admittedly, half of them are megaliths because those are the best. They are just the best land experimental. I don't care who you are or what you say. These little beautiful things, these little crabs, these megaliths are the best. They're beautiful, and I will not take no for an answer whenever you argue with me that they're not the best. They have fucking battleship cannons. What's not to love? And it's 2 megaliths versus a GC, a megalith, and a fat boy. I'm pretty sure the 2 megaliths lose, but they do have some shield support, so if those shields flicker on enough times, maybe. But the GC is already dead, and the focus fire is very strong. AoE fire coming in from this fat boy. Going to cause massive issue. Another megalith going down. Team 1 losing this fight with the experimentals heavily. Losing it quite easily, in fact. They did not target priority. It was, of course, 3 experimentals controlled by 3 different players versus 1 player controlling everything on this flank. And with that, we can see 3 megaliths pushing towards the base of the enemy team. We still have 2 megaliths here, both of which are veteraned up. Both of which getting a nice chunk of health every second. It's not significant enough to let them win this kind of fight, but if both of these megaliths fire on the other megalith, they could very much so grab a win here. I'm pretty sure the megalith on the right is going down. This crab is going to die. Unfortunately for him, he did not have the power to survive this. We have lightning tanks trying to take down these broadswords. The fat boy does go down, and in a very short turn of events, we see multiple experimentals going down, but there's always more experimentals showing up, and a second megalith is already showing up to replace the one that died. You kill one megalith and another comes to take its place. 2 more come to take its place in this type of game. And we can see these megaliths continue to fight each other. Continue to trade blows, to murder each other. This is one of those family reunions you don't want to go to. Crabs are vicious. They murder each other for fun. It's a sport for them. And over here we have a megalith out from Icy Nightmare. Seriously, this game is literally like, you get a megalith, and you get a megalith, and you get a megalith. Everybody gets megaliths. It's fucking ridiculous. Another megalith dead over here. There can only be one on this right flank. There can only be one megalith, and it has to belong to Eggroll because he is building the most megaliths. Broadswords just becoming ubiquitous at this point. We have so many of them on the field, just constantly coming out, dying after shooting things for a little while. The Eggroll making inroads in towards the base of Dave, who is already halfway done with another megalith. And the amount of time it took one of his megaliths to walk over here, kill another one, and die, he's already gotten another one pretty much finished. We probably have, I've said megalith more this cast than any other time, but we probably have yet even more megaliths already done for Eggroll. I'm not seeing it, but I fail to believe he only has one on the field at the moment. He is, of course, building one right now, but hard to believe the idea that he doesn't have another one just hidden up his sleeve, maybe in his nostril or something. He is an Eggroll after all. Could be in that delicious hors d'oeuvre, delicious meal, delicious appetizer, side dish. Could be up inside of it. I wonder what Eggroll's favorite type of Eggroll is. I also like spring rolls, but egg rolls are pretty dope. Probably better than spring rolls, honestly. Tell me your favorite egg roll in the comments. My favorite egg roll just so happens to be an 1800 Raider player on No, I can't say that my favorite egg roll is this player. Egg roll is a part of the Discord community server. You should join. It's a fucking rant. It's a rave. Very fun. But he is part of our Discord server. You should join. Link in the description. Oh man, that was about to go down a wrong route. I was really tempted to like just lay into it. It was either I have to cut off this entire, my favorite egg roll is this player, right at the nose, or otherwise we're gonna start getting into weird territory with food fetishes. I don't have a dirty mind. I just live in a dirty world. Jesus, this is a lot of reclaim. And egg roll is getting a lot of reclaim out of it. A fat boy shows up to try and stop his progress, but that fat boy should be scared as another megalith is on the way. We also have a lot of sniper bots and shield bots and a SACU building Gunthers on the front line to try and kill off that fat boy as fast as possible. And this megalith is going to die, giving yet another kill over to egg roll. Egg roll racking up every single experimental kill he can, and also giving everybody else experimental kills. It's rather impressive, the amount of experimentals that have died due to an order given by egg roll, whether it's his experimentals or enemy experimentals. If he gives an order, an experimental will die. And this part of the map is the only part of the map that matters, because over here, when you look at it, it's just boring. You just have artillery wars. Whoa, Jesus. Flip-flapping. What the? Why do you have 27 T2 artillery on this flank? What has... I mean, I know that there were 2 fat boys over here not too long ago, but at the same time, this seems excessive. You have an addiction, my friend. Do we need to call artillery anonymous? Jesus. And Drac over here, Drac, you need to move your comm. You have 3 SAMs, and you're underneath like a couple of shields. You need to move your comm. Please move your comm. Don't just keep it there. Also, another megalith dying in relation to egg roll's crusade against experimentals on this eastern flank. A GC shows up, but for some reason I have a feeling it's going to die as another megalith comes in this way. We have 2 fat boys, a megalith, a GC. One second. Oh, Jesus, I pressed the wrong button. Control Shift F1, not Control Shift Escape. I did not need Task Manager. Okay, just looking at this right now, we can already see that there are in fact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experimentals on screen, 1 building in the back, so yet again 6. This area is prone to experimentals. This area has more experimentals dying in it than any other area on any planet ever. This is approaching that level where you and a friend go into a lobby and you're like, okay, nobody attacks for the first 40 minutes while we build up an epic army, and instead of actually building up like a whole bunch of T3 units, what do? You build 50 fucking megaliths. And the other guy builds 50 GCs. And the GCs would win if you built T3 units, because they would just suck them all up with their sucky hands. Those GCs got that good suck. Oh god, this is just going off the fucking rails. And you know how I was talking about how Drac needs to move his comm? Well, we got pulled away from the experimental wars just in time to see him get attacked by a bunch of fucking broadswords. Oh, this is dangerous. He does have shield on his comm, so he may live for a little while, but those broadswords put out insane DPS. Watch the health points fly off this comm. Why isn't he walking into the shield? Okay, I'm actually triggered. This is him killing himself. He has enough AA to kill off the rest of these. I think he actually had enough AD. He could have actually won that exchange if he had just walked inside of his shields and forced them to keep on killing shields. Oh, he didn't even ping for assistance. There was ASFs you could have asked for. Drac killed himself. That was an act of suicide, not an act of stupidity. Or maybe it was a stupid suicide, but still. And now that I've said the suicide word, YouTube is gonna not like me very much, but then again, YouTube doesn't like me very much anyways, so I curse a lot, and YouTube is trying to be family friendly. And I'm not family friendly. These 2 fat boys have walked into their own grave. Just gonna point that out here. First fat boy is going to die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 experimentals. Before the 2 fat boys died, you have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still have 7 experimentals on screen. This is fucking ridiculous. You know, there's probably a T3 artillery built right now, and I just don't give enough of a fuck. This is a better TV than anything they could provide to me. Oh my word, so many experimentals. Okay, I have to look away from this for a moment. We can see now it is a 2v5. The situation is relatively dire. Let's see what they're talking about, because they were very upset because there was no ping at 4 to 5 SAMs. Just too many gunships to do anything. Want to give up? Make a nuke if you can. I can try and kill SMD. I guess I should have been more careful, but it seems we lost anyways. About 7 more minutes. Nope, we can bail. Give me a 2-2 transport. Alright. So we're caught up to speed. It looks like they're both giving up. And they're going to give up in style via transport. Is that what I'm seeing here? We have a transport coming out over here, so that is relatively important. Oh, also, there was an artillery war going on the entire time, but fuck that, that's not interesting. The emissary over here is about to die, and there's a Duke and a second Duke on the way for Lazy Avena. And now we do have transports out for both the Egg Roll and Brink, and they're both getting on the transports. Let's turn this off. We already know how this is going to end. Alright, we can see the 2 players move forward. Go to green AC. We can see the SAMs start firing, and that's going to be the death of Brink, and his ally is coming in right behind him, and there's ASFs incoming, and that's the death of Egg Roll. And with that, we end this fantastic game. One could argue the perfect game, at least for Team 1, as Team 1 managed to do all of that without losing a single player. Technically, that's not a perfect game. I think a perfect game is winning without losing a unit, but fuck that. I don't think anybody in the history of FAF has done that against a player who's actually trying. Either way, thank you all for watching. You have been beautiful. If you want to support me, consider sharing this video, liking, or subscribing, or very possibly donating to my experimental fund over on Patreon, where I use the money you all give me to build insane amounts of megaliths. And with that, I bid you a good day. Love you all. Goodbye.